Yeah, I'm going to go with LSU here for our underdog money line parlay. It's just an amazing situational spot for LSU. Ole Miss, this is their seventh straight game. This is their third straight SEC game, back-to-back travel after, they had a bounce back after the Kentucky loss. They went on to beat South Carolina. I know this roster is loaded, but this is a seventh straight game and third straight in the SEC. That's not, to be taken lightly. LSU is completely off of a bye week. Any tweaks that they needed, they've been fine since the USC game. Ole Miss is still a really soft strength of schedule, 81st. And we're finding out these teams that have strength of schedules that are still pretty poor, sometimes they get rocked by offenses they haven't seen before. I think that's what we're going to see here. Now, Ole Miss has a havoc number that is top five, they're number one in defensive havoc this week, top five in pass rush. It's just not going to apply here. LSU is 11th in pass blocking. Garrett Nussmeier is being protected by two of the best offensive tackles in the nation, 15% pressure rate. Nussmeier is fine against this Ole Miss havoc that's coming for him. The coverage grading is what really sticks out in the Ole Miss analytics. Why is it so low for Pete Golding? He runs a strict cover one. You go into Nussmeier, he dominates cover one, 57% success rate, 23.5% of the time. Nussmeier is throwing explosives when he passes against a cover one. Positive EPA per pass. It's just a powder keg that's going to be able to be exposed on the back end of the Ole Miss defense. Also, is there a running game here from a freshman? Caden Durham.
Caden Durham.
Yeah, I mean, behind two of the best tackles, like I said, in the nation from a run blocking perspective also. His attempts are growing game by game. He had 11 in his last game. He's averaging now 4.5 yards after first contact. And that's over the last two games against South Carolina and South Bama. Ole Miss, heavy tempo. Is that really what you want to do here? 22 seconds per play. LSU loves to control the clock, and you're going to let them control this easily. They're going to own the time of possession. Plus, injury. Is there anybody more important than Trey Harris? Trey Harris has 64 targets. Let's look at the list after him. Juice Wells, 30. Caden Lee, 21. Trey Harris is a monster part of the pie of this Ole Miss offense. I don't like what they have on the back end from a coverage grading. When Jackson Dart, who has these, it really does have tremendous numbers with pressure. He has improved so much throwing into traffic and mid-range stuff. But you lose your top guy in Trey Harris, who has accumulated around 40 to 50% of the offense from a passing perspective. It's
any key down. That's who he's looking for.
Yeah, exactly. So LSU here, go Tigers.
I agree. We're putting it on our board, our whiteboard of transparency we unveiled last week. This board looks very pretty. It's not going to maintain this way, for me at least. 5-0 on games we agreed on last week. Head-to-head, I'm 2-0. Trash segment, 2-0. LSU on the agree section. Yeah, I mean, look, number one, it's a great spot. Number two, Durham maybe does provide a little bit of balance, but the strength of the Ole Miss defense is their front and their run D.
Yeah.
But so even if LSU can't get the run game going, I think Nussmeier's going to be able to drop back. And where LSU's offense line does excel is in pass protection, right? So they're going to be able to give him time. And look, they were changing their run blocking schemes during the bye week. Maybe they fix some of that, and they can. And Durham has looked like he can provide some juice, not only running the ball, but out of the backfield. So, yeah, I think this bye came at a really good time for a team, the new defensive coordinator, new scheme. And look, this Ole Miss team, in the SEC so far, they faced Kentucky and South Carolina. Neither of those teams can throw it downfield. The biggest question mark on this Ole Miss defense is the secondary. So, yeah, I like LSU catching over a field goal here. Even at a field goal, I think is fine. Brian Kelly, for what it's worth, 35-18 against the spread as an underdog. Hitting 2/3 of the time, 27-13-1, close to 68% when catching over a field goal. After a bye, been pretty damn good. 15-8-1 against the spread, 65% covering by about 3.5 points per game. LSU fans, remember I was like, I feel like I never get to bet LSU, and here we are. LSU, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.